What is up, everybody? I am back. Sorry for inconsistency over the last couple weeks, but yeah, that's just how we had to roll. But today we are covering GCW and Banger Zone Wrestling's Now or Never event, taped live at the Space Isabelle de Hainaut, French. Not my first language, obviously. Not even my second. In Bapaume, France. Taped on May 23rd, 2026. Aired live on tape delay on Triller TV Plus on May 29th, 2026. Much as I was disappointed, I understand tape delays. Can't do much about them. But we're going to jump right into our first match. We had one called Manders versus True Grit Connor Mills. Connor Mills seemed to be very over from what I gathered. This was not the first time these two men had faced off, period, anyway. So, still very familiar, but just hard hitting, good match. Connor Mills picked up the victory via submission.
As they collide, both had similar intentions. Off the ropes, though, Mills flying back. Able to take Manders down, cover. And Manders able to get that shoulder up in time. Right back to a submission maneuver here. Ooh, almost pulling the arm right out of that socket. And
And gave this match 4 stars. Yeah. Good opener. So we're going to move on to a chaos-filled match. We had the BZW Tag Team Championship match. We had CZW's own Jimmy fucking Lloyd and Jeffery John versus Rivality, MBM, and Ultima Sombra versus the Japanese tag team and their current champions, MAO and Yoshihiko. There we go. I believe it's Yoshihiko is the wrestling test dummy, like a practice dummy. So very interesting on that. Chaos all around. They brawled in the crowd. They brawled outside. Most times you had craziness from Yoshihiko. And one time it just gets chucked into the wrestler like it had just done a crazy ass dive, and then the other time, with the assistance of the man in the black suit, she jumped off of a truck after her partner had jumped off of a little passenger van right next to it. From it, overall craziness, I did put that MAO and Yoshihiko entered, I believe it was in the Ministry of Darkness theme song. It started out more like the Brood, but then it was like the Ministry song, so it's like, okay. But also very entertaining, but we do have new BZW Tag Team Champions in Rivality. They seem like good, so maybe it's just those people aren't going to be able to fly back and forth to from France to, or from Japan to France all the time, so as soon as they did that, they got it up. They got the tag titles off of them. But I get this match 4 stars. Just a very good match. Then we had KJ Orso versus Ricky Sosa. From what I remember, Ricky Sosa was announced for the clusterfuck, but I would assume due to visa and or travel issues, he just didn't make it. So, yeah, it was a good match overall. At one point, KJ got a cut in or around his ear. I'm putting it in post, but yeah, picture pop up now. Right there. Right there where I will normally put shit right there. But yeah, overall, Sosa's local rival helped Orso pick up the win. And
as TLB has made his way out here, and rival of Ricky Sosa, we saw talking with Orso right before the entrance, and a roll up here, and the extra help.
This by pinfall. Great overall showing. I gave this match 4.5 stars. Then we had your three-way, but I always write them down as triple threats because I like the name a lot better. And also, same thing with Fatal 4-way. I just like those teams better. And nobody did just 3-ways, 4-ways, and blah, 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 blah. This is how I like it. Anyway, triple threat match for the GCW World Championship in a fucking death match. Or at least decently death match. We had the deathmatch Prince Drew Parker versus La Chola Viperous versus the Last Nail Atticus Cougar. This is where I'm gonna insert the tweet that Atticus tweeted out, because this match was originally going to be Atticus and Parker teaming, going against Viperous and Nick Gage. I would assume Brett kind of jumped the gun on getting Gage and trying to get Gage over to France for this show. I know specific countries won't let you enter them, period, if you have any sort of felony records. So, being that Gage has been in trouble before, I believe that probably is what happened. But overall, I think this match, it didn't take away that Gage wasn't there. I know it was probably disappointing the French fans who wanted to see Gage, but overall, it was a good match. To me, this was the best match of the night. Atticus Cougar wins by pinfall. I will insert any sort of pictures and videos like I did with Ring of Dreams after, except if it was like relevant to what I was talking about. Sometimes I'm going to miss stuff. I'm not gonna write. I tried writing down everything at one time, and without pausing, writing, it's not going to happen. So yeah, this match was granted 5 stars. It became one of my 5-star matches for this year. I have more than I thought, but it gets worded. So, then we moved into your Shotzi Blackheart Open Challenge. So she came out, did her little thing, even though the mic apparently didn't want to work, or she was having trouble or something. And, basically issued the open challenge, and Corey 0, and I had to specifically write female in here because Corey is apparently a gender neutral name that I never knew about, so might as well make sure that note kept there. Good match. From what I remember watching the Game Changer World podcast last night, Corey 0 has less than 3 years of experience in pro wrestling, so she hung in there with one of the best women. Couldn't ask for anything better. Shotzi picked up the victory via pinfall. I'll give this match 4 stars. And we had a triple threat match for the DDT Universal Championship. We had Leeds Lewis versus the base god Gringo Loco versus Kazasumi. Now, only thing I can really say is this match was very good. It went into just craziness of high flying but hard hitting action. My exact moves were good, fast, high flying action. Kazuma Sumi picked up the win.
His wrist tape. Way up top. Sumi keeping his balance. Oh, wow! Imploding 450 splash. And
retaining his DDT Universal Championship. I don't think, because this was a belt from, well, Japan, they weren't going to change the title unless they were like, hey, we want this person. I gave this match 4 stars. Overall, just a good match. Now we're already to our main event. I have flown through this because it's a shorter card. We head for the BZW Championship. The bad boy Joey Janela versus Trent Seven. Man, I believe this isn't the first time these two have faced. Joey does sporadic trips over to Europe, a little bit, but so that excellent. This is a great match. Like literally, just a great match. I loved it. Trent Seven did pick up the victory, retaining his title. I don't know what they have planned for, but Trent Seven seems to be very over in France. He's from England, so he's just right there. So he just takes probably a trainer, whatever, over to France and does this, and still does a lot of what he does outside of this. So I gave this match 4.5 stars, and that's the end of this show. Short, sweet, tape delayed, but yeah. So next video will be at the end, or well, most recent video will be at the end of the card. So it does depends on when you watch this. But my next review will be the show that happened the very next night, live in Milan. Milan, not Milan. That's a Disney character. Live in Milan. Until next time. Peace.